I'm back for Dusty's ongoing coverage of ESL Impact Season 5 Finals here in Dallas, with Empathy coming off of TSM Shimmer's opening loss against Fluxo Demons. To start, it looked like it was going to be a pretty one-sided affair after the first half, but Shimmer had a real chance at making a comeback there. What allowed the first half to fall so flat for the team, and then inversely, why was the second half had so much signs of life comparatively?
I think we all kind of, I don't know, like sort of, we had like an hour and a half tech pause at the beginning of the game, and it was definitely a lot slow. We were like really hyped and excited to play, and the tech pause just kind of like, everybody was just like annoyed, just rejoining the server over and over again. And I think that kind of led to it. Not necessarily that we were like upset, but just that we were like not warm anymore, and kind of just like, having to wait like an hour and a half before an official, just like, it's you sort of like fall asleep just sitting there waiting for the server to come back. So it definitely was hard to deal with, but I think overall we just like, we didn't play our game the way we wanted to. I think me personally, I was just missing a lot of like shots I don't normally miss, and I definitely could have done a lot better myself. But I don't know, everybody was making like small individual mistakes, but I feel like we should have done a lot better. I think, after halftime going into the second half, we were a lot more like confident and like warm. And so we just played like more our game, and we're making like less mistakes. I feel like on C2 we just lost like swing rounds due to simple things, and so the half kind of just like went away very fast. Our economy wasn't great, and so sometimes that happens, especially on CT side in CS2. If your economy just like keeps falling, it can be very hard to deal with, and I feel like we just kind of fell because of that.
How do you feel about your comeback in the second half? Is it something you can be proud of here?
Yeah, it's a lot better than just having a blowout game. We were really hoping to have like a great showing, and the fact that we got to at least do somewhat decent or show like a glimpse of what we're capable of, it's definitely a relief that we didn't just get blown out, and we showed our potential and some of our players off. But we definitely were hoping to have a much better result going into it.
Now, you went into the Impact Finals being picked up by TSM. First thing I wanted to ask you about that is, how did that come to pass? I don't think anyone was really expecting TSM to come into the Impact scene, especially with a North American team.
So I started talking to TSM, I want to say 6 months ago. It was the end of last year, or early January. They reached out saying that they were interested in potentially picking up an Impact team. I know they talked to me and a few other players about suggestions of like who they'd recommend and like rosters that would work really well. And I know they talked to me, and I was like, Shimmer is like the greatest team ever. And everybody loves Shimmer, and we're so like dedicated. And after a while, they just like sort of watched the league, and I kept talking to them throughout the months. And after like the regular season had ended, they were like, okay, we want to make this deal happen. And it just worked out and fit like perfectly. And it's like a, what do you call it, like a lifesaver. Like, for so long we were like struggling to find someone for almost like 2 years, and TSM somewhat came out of nowhere, and it's been great working with them. I mean, it's only been a couple weeks, but even then it's just been really great to have the support.
You mentioned it being a lifesaver. And how some of you have been looking for orgs for a really long time. I think your last org was EG Gold all the way back in 2022. I know some of the players haven't even ever been on an org before. So what does it mean to the team to have an org support, and what more can they do for you that will enable you to continue to grow after being orgless for so long?
I think it means a lot to the players. It's been very hard for us to like just survive out of the game, and over the past years there's been many talks of people being like, am I going to be able to play after this season? Just dedicating like 8 hours a day to a game every day, it's like really draining to have to survive and deal with that. So it means like a lot to just get that encouragement and the support financially to keep on pursuing CS. And it just it ingrains in like everybody's heads. It's like, yes, we are like real players, and we can continue to do this.
Something else that surprised me, definitely came out of left field, was the signing of Florence as the coach. I haven't seen him since I believe Detonate, or maybe the Detonate days. How did that happen? Like, how did Florence come back into the mix and end up becoming Shimmer's coach?
We were struggling to find a coach for the entire duration the team's been around. We've found a few here and there, and they didn't really fit well and mesh with the team. And so I reached out to a few friends that I thought would be good, and Florence kind of reached out saying he'd be down to try it. And so we trialed him, I want to say, for about a week, and he just brought like a ton of knowledge and a ton of structure just right away. And it was clear that like he fit the dynamic of the team very well. And so, he wanted to keep coaching, and we really liked having him coach. He's very smart and he's very smart when it comes to, mid rounds and stuff, and a lot of the stuff we were struggling with. So it's definitely been a big help to have him.
Now, despite the team looking improved in the second half of your opener against Fluxo Demons, I will have to say that Shimmer has never won a map here at an Impact LAN. Pardon me, never won a series. I think you've won a map here and there. Hopefully,
I don't know.
Anyways, but like ignoring that factoid, what needs to change later today when you take on Navi Javelins? Like from looking at the Fluxo game, what are we going to be focusing on to try to send the Polish team home?
I think we just need to not get in our heads and play like our own game. Just have our rotates and everything be like fluid and how they are like normally in scrims. Being on stage, it can be a little uncomfortable at times, and I think as long as everybody's staying, confident, we'll play a lot better. And I think it's a hard matchup, but I think we can win if we all play our game.
With being signed by TSM, I know I feel like it really takes a lot of weight off your shoulders, like you've mentioned, especially for Phoebe, because she's had to have been heading home after every season, right? So is she going to be able to stay with the team, and are you going to be able to practice in the off season?
Yes, so right after this event, she is flying back to Australia while they work on getting her visa. But after she gets her visa, she will be moving to the US, and we will be continuing to practice, every day as a team.
And looking towards next season already, the big change is that NA is only going to have one spot next season. Do you think the team's progressing in a good enough way where you can potentially take that spot away from FlyCrest Red?
Yes, I want to say absolutely. I feel very confident about this. We've had, in my opinion, just a straight like upward trajectory when it comes to building players and to just improving. It's been very, very straightforward, and I think as time's gone on, we've just gone better and better. And I feel very confident that given a few more months, we will probably be the top team in NA. I mean, we've already put in good results previously against them, and we've beat them before. So I think it's just a matter of time before, especially with org support, now we're kind of on the same page as them, and we can match them, as we were putting up good results with no org support. And I think having that behind us and a coach that's dedicating full time to coaching and everything that comes with that, we can just improve drastically and take that #1 spot.
All right, so that is TSM Shimmer Empathy. They're going to be looking to survive later today as they take on Navi Javelins. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you then.